Alex, are you ready for some hot takes in the hot tub? Hot tub takes?
I'm so ready for hot tub takes. I'll tell you what, it may be a cold tub take, but I'm ready for it.
One of these days, I'm actually going to get the hot tub heated up and we can have a genuine experience. For now, we're just going to have to pretend like it's hot. I have this long list of hot takes.
Okay.
And I'm just going to read a random one off.
Perfect.
Just to get us warmed up. And then if you have other hot takes, you can care to share. Okay, here's a fun one. Hot take, dancing is a sport.
In what sense? I don't feel like the hot take. I feel like it's just it is a controversial opinion, but...
Like, I am a dancer and I am an athlete. Yes or no?
I would say yes. I mean, I'd say girls would say the same as like golf, because I feel like dancers are like especially in better shape than like a golfer would be, like a standard golfer. So I'm not going to like do the biased fun side of the hot take and say dancing's not a sport. I definitely think it is, because...
But there's recreational levels.
100%. Like if you're just gonna pick up like a samba dance or like something
Zumba?
special. Exactly.
Okay. Do you want to pick the next one?
Sure. Hot take that $100 is a lot of money.
That's interesting because $100 is a lot of money if you're buying food, but if you're buying like I'll spend $100 on a quarter of a plane ticket.
I think that's where I get confused, because like I'll definitely say I'm not gonna eat out tonight and I'll like cook like turkey meat and rice at the house, and I'll buy a plane ticket to like Scotland that I'm going to this summer, and it's just like it's the opposite ends of the spectrum where I'll save $5 here but I'll spend $2,000 without blinking an eye.
Yep. I just spend money like it's water. So I think to me $100 isn't a lot until you have to replace it, right?
I know.
It's easy to spend, harder to make.
I think $100 is honestly never a lot, because
Not these days.
in every situation I can find myself easily spending $100 if I walk out the door.
What about, is $100 a lot if somebody's like asking you for a loan?
I would say no to that too. Even coming out of high school, I was very comfortable giving my friends a couple $100, because I feel like, I don't know, I had good friends growing up. It definitely meant more back then than it does now.
Yeah. Where's the threshold though? Like $200?
$1,000.
Okay, so
That doesn't mean come ask me for $900 tomorrow. Like I would definitely say no to that. But
what if I had a good reason? What if it was to, I don't know. I don't have a good reason.
I was about to say 100% of your examples surrounded shopping. So
That's true. Or travel. Hot take, good looking people always have the worst personalities.
100%. I totally agree.
Do we have horrible personalities? I feel like we're both good looking.
See, I don't want to like even put myself in the category of like good looking. I just hate it when people are like, there's so much sexual tension. No, that's just two good looking people with no personality.
Like the Montana Boys.
Exactly.
Have you seen some of the recent clips of them?
I have. I just still haven't wrapped my head around the fact that like, one of them is dating Kristen Cavallari, or however you say her name, because
I don't know, but I've made the realization recently that there's a reason that they only lip sync to the same song over and over again, and it's because, have you heard them try to speak in an interview?
But no, I saw them actually on a podcast too the other day, and it was with Dave Portnoy, and 5 minutes into it and goes, well, I can see why y'all don't do podcasts. And he just like calls them out, and it made me feel uncomfortable, because they're just like, yeah. He's like, so nothing back, that's it? Just yeah. And it made me uncomfortable.
The one that's dating Kristen Cavallari literally just repeats what his friend says.
I know.
Like, what's a red flag? And then he says, if they're mean to their mom. And then asks the other one. And you can't just say what he said. And he goes, if they're mean to their dad. Oh, man. But hot people, bad personalities. Or just lack of personality. It's one of the two.
It's kind of like good looking people are also like really good at sales. I mean, it doesn't mean they have to do a lot just because there's beautiful people. So I feel like a decent or not so good look person that does well in sales, it's like, holy shit, like they have something going on.
You're in sales. What do you think you lean on?
I'd say 50-50.
That's good.
I lean on some intelligence, or at least pretend to.
Okay.
But I'm definitely loving the self-deprecating humor all the time of like, oh, I'm just some dumb Southerner. I feel like that gets me a long way.
You don't have much of a Southern accent, though.
I've been told I did. After living in Chicago for a little bit, people thought I had a huge Southern accent. Hot take, church and the gym, two controversial places, are great places to meet people. Like in terms of like even dating.
The gym.
100%. Disagree?
Well, I just think about...
You perked up a little bit. I don't know if it was the water or...
I personally work out here now by myself. So I don't go to a public gym anymore. But when I did, I definitely went in with headphones on, RBF. Just, I don't want to bother anyone else. I don't want anyone to bother me. I want to get in and get my workout done. So I don't understand, like, how do you break that ice of, like, approaching a stranger?
Put yourself in this situation where a guy does break the ice, walks up to you in the gym in, like, the respectful way that they phrase up it to be. In between sets, like, hey, I just want to let you know, like...
Your thong is showing through your leggings.
Yeah, exactly.
If you were to hit on a girl in the gym, how would you do it?
See, that's just it. I never have. I like the idea. It's great.
Okay. What about church? How would you hit on a girl at church?
I feel like it just happens naturally. Like, the more, like, involved you are at the gym, like... going there a lot, you start recognizing familiar faces. Going to church a lot, you start joining a small group or something. I feel like it's kind of like a natural dating app where like you see a lot of people and you kind of pick up on their mannerisms and stuff for a longer time before having to like make a move.
I think at
You
church.
so disagree with this.
Well, I just think that at church, everyone either hustles out really fast because the parking is
There's
atrocious.
the like 10-minute linger after where you get to just chit chat. Let's go grab lunch. It's like very easy.
Or everyone's married.
True.
With like 18 children already.
True. But they go to one section of the church to pick up their kids, and we stay in the single section.
Okay.
But there's also like pickleball small groups where you can like do that. But I mean, I guess that just goes like into like playing intramural sports with people. But I feel like through church, you like join with like a much bigger pool of strangers than you would if you joined a kickball team.
Hot take. Pickleball is a little overhyped.
Pickleball is more of a sport than dancing.
Ow!
I mean, I'm just putting it out there.
It's just tennis with smaller paddles.
Agreed, but like, do you see pickleball on TV more or dancing on TV more?
Dancing with the Stars, so you think you can dance. College Nationals.
What channel is called?
What channel is pickleball?
I mean, I'm not saying I watch it all the time, but I've seen it.
I don't even know what a pickleball looks like.
I would say I don't know what dance looks like, but y'all just are out there, so I'm not gonna like disagree.
You went to Tennessee. You saw the dance team.
I saw them for different reasons than. I'm not saying it like that, but like.
Oh.
Hot take, back in college, doing a sport or doing dancing, your shit did not stink. Regardless of sport, if it was like golf or tennis or
student athletes
anything,
just rule the world.
Did it not feel like that? Where like looking back at it, you're like, they didn't do anything different than us.
I don't know. I feel like my experience is probably a little different than yours because I went to like a Division III school. Everyone knew each other regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And dance and cheer are like definitely on that line of, I would say half people consider you athletes, half of people don't, and they don't realize that you're doing all the same stuff all the other athletic teams are, if not multiplied, because you're going to multiple sports. There's a period of time when the basketball season overlaps the football season, and you're doing like 2 basketball games during the week and a football game on the weekend. You're still going to 2 workouts a week. You still have practice 3 times a week after classes and stuff, and people don't really realize like, oh wait, they're actually practicing the same amount, if not more, than other sports.
That was a long way to validate.
Hot take, dance is a sport.
I'm still not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying pickleball is more. Hot take, I heard Apple Watches are a red flag. Would you agree with that?
To who?
To girls. Like, girls think they are red flags if guys wear them.
I've never heard that.
I've been told that as of recent. Now I get very self-conscious about wearing an Apple Watch.
Should you switch to like a Whoop?
A Whoop or a real watch? It?
Or what are the Aura rings are now in?
Those have become in. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't like to see how bad my sleep schedule was, but...
Yeah, not good.
But not true about the Apple Watch?
Not for me. I don't. But maybe that's a new thing. Maybe. Is there a reason? Did they give a reason why?
I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of like classier watches. Or if you wear this out for a date, like even if you change the band, it's still an Apple Watch.
Hot take. I think watches are a waste of money.
Okay.
Why are people wearing watches that cost as much as like multiple cars?
Yeah. Well, this is my most expensive watch, so you're not going to catch me disagreeing with you.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
People spend stupid amounts of money on watches.
I think the most money I spent was probably on those little like fake watches in New York and Chinatown, like haggling with the little vendors on the side street. So. And
then people who are into watches can really tell like what they are from like way over there. I saw somebody recognize my boss's watch on a Zoom call the other day, and I was like, how did you notice from that tiny little blurry screen?
What kind is it?
It's not real. Sorry, Blake. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I think it's what are the fancy kinds of watches?
Like really fancy? Mm-hmm. Patek Philippe?
No.
Rolex?
No.
Tag Heuer?
I don't know.
If I said the right one, would you even know it?
Do you like Taylor Swift?
She's actually from the hometown I grew up in, so.
What is your opinion on her music? Do you think she's overhyped?
I think she's a good role model for girls.
How so?
I feel like she gets like a bunch of attention, but I don't think she's like maliciously out there trying to be a bad person, so.
I would agree. I think her music's good though.
Her music's okay at best.
Who is your favorite music artist?
I'm just saying, if you had billions of dollars to funnel into like the production of your music, your music would sound good. Not saying your music doesn't sound good now. I've heard you sing, pretty decent singer, but decent. Don't get your head a little big.
I have a degree in music. Do you know that?
Music and dancing?
I don't have a degree in dance. I just did it.
Growing up in the suburbs is better than growing up in a city?
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even a hot take.
I was in the city the other day trying to go to the DMV, and it was horrendous.
I feel like the most minuscule of tasks like that like takes so much more time in the city.
I drive up, And I'm like looking for the parking lot. I'm like, it's a government building. Surely there's going to be an attached parking lot to go into the DMV. I'm now 15 minutes late at this point, and I ended up calling the DMV.
Which
and
one
I'm
did you go to?
Downtown Nashville DMV. And I got to there, and it was like, you know when you just like arrive and you're looking around and you're like, where
do I go next?
Bitch, where have I arrived to? I am in like a side street. There's 3 homeless people over there and like a school parking lot I'm not allowed to park in. So I call the DMV, and this lady answers the phone. She's like, oh, yeah, you can park at the Publix and walk. And I'm like, okay. Publix is like 0.8 miles away from the DMV. I'm like, that's the closest free parking that you have. So I did that, and it's raining. And I'm like, this is awful. And the whole time I was walking, I was like, I would never have to do this in my hometown.
So suburbs greater than.
Yes.
I mean, I just think about even like playing as a kid, like growing up playing. The amount of times I would legit be like a stick kid, like out there, like being so entertained by a stick or like a rake, raking pathways.
Did you ever make outside soup?
Is that with the mud?
I would take like a big metal pot and put it with rainwater, and then you would make like leaves and like you put dirt and lemon, you would like stir it. And then I remember one year we had the really big cicada.
I do remember that.
And then all the dead cicada bodies would be like on the ground. And then we'd put the dead cicada bodies in the soup, and we would just like pretend that we were making soup.
But like the cicada year was like 2012. So you were making outside soup at 18,
I don't think it was
18 years old?
No, it wasn't in Virginia. I was in elementary school whenever, like in Virginia, whenever we had the cicadas, I distinctly remember being in like 5th or 6th grade.
I was concerned there for a second at your outside soup age.
Young at heart. So you didn't make outside soup, but
I would like make my own little cities with little roads and stuff. You know, if your front yard had like a shit ton of leaves, you'd make little paths, pull my sisters in a wagon on, and like you act like you just have this huge city that you created.
How suburbs were your suburbs? Like you pretty much have everything.
Suburbs. We had everything. It wasn't like rural by any means. Like it was a suburb.
Yeah. Like I got everything I need and nothing that I don't in the suburbs.
Exactly.
The birth order affects your personality.
100%.
What is that like?
That's a cold take. That's just a fact.
What does that look like for your family?
First one has the highest expectations, is hold to like the strictest standards. Is this you?
Yeah.
I mean, God, I love my older sister. I'm sorry, Abby, but like, I mean, she had pigtails until she was about 19. Like, just was like the most innocent, nice lady. Her boyfriend in high school came on a family trip with us and played like a Nintendo DS under the like couch covers. Just very reserved, and I felt terrible.
Were you the bad kid? You're the middle child, so probably.
I was the second of 4, so technically middle, I guess. But what'd you say the second personality type is, since you're the oldest?
She's definitely the one that pushed the limits. Like, she wanted to see how much she could get away with. And she also had this period of time where she did not care if she was in trouble. Like, my parents had the hardest time disciplining her because she was just like, what more are you going to do? You already took my phone. That's all you can do to me. My mom proved her wrong and made her life a living hell. And now she's reformed and better for it. But definitely wild child.
Second one helped pave the way for the third, though. Did they not?
Yes, because my little brother, we grew up in a household where we weren't allowed to play video games. Like, never had a Wii, never had any video games, which was for a good reason, because I probably wouldn't have gotten any
Speaking of
productive
that,
things
like, what TV shows were you not allowed to watch as a kid that seem like so normal now?
This is the craziest one. Teletubbies.
Okay.
My mom said that they have no brain cells and that they would rot our brains.
I've actually heard Teletubbies.
Yeah.
Like,
Teletubbies, we weren't allowed to watch some of the obvious ones, like, you know, like Family Guy, like any sort of like adult cartoon.
I couldn't watch Rugrats.
Wasn't allowed to watch Rugrats.
Didn't like how the sister treated her siblings. Like, it was like very basic.
I don't remember what the reasoning was, but my mom was like, nope. And then we would go to, like, is it Disney World that has that, or Busch Gardens? We go to Busch Gardens or there was a park that we went to that had a Rugrats themed ride, and we just never knew what was going on because we were like, I've never seen this show, and everyone was like, this has a 180-minute wait time. I don't know what the Rugrats are.
And you waited and wrote it?
Yeah. And then the youngest, I don't know if it's like that in your family, but he got his, technically he found a loophole with the video game situation. He had computer games. So we got like a gaming computer, a gaming chair, sat up in his bedroom like gaming. I was like, how is this any different than...
Good for him.
So,
The littlest ones figure it out. They figure out how to like press the parents enough to like, I mean, obviously they're at a stage where they're like, they've gone through it with multiple kids now and they just don't care. My littlest sibling, she absolutely got away with murder, but like not in like a bad way. She definitely has the personality of like all 3 of her older siblings, but took all the good and some of the bad, but definitely knows how to like play the family game with mom and dad, which I respect.
Hot take, should your parents support you through college financially? Like, should you be shamed for it if they do?
I feel like I get shamed for it because my parents did support me through college. Yeah. They paid for college and board, and that was it. Like, food, everything else.
No
like,
credit card?
No, I did not have a family. We did, but like
Emergencies.
The one guy of threes, but like no, my sisters had emergencies every day. Like emergencies were
Emergency, I don't have anything to eat.
Yeah. Emergency Friday at midnight. I need shots for my friends.
That is an emergency.
Like that still has not gotten caught up by my sisters for emergencies.
I feel bad for my dad because I don't really feel like I abused the system. Maybe I did, but I would go out to eat and stuff.
This is a backhanded apology to dad right now. So.
Yeah, but my dad and my sister, we had like one credit card account, but we had our own cards with our own names, but it all went back to one account. So one day my dad came into the living room with stapled packets of printout
the statements
and highlighters, and he made me and my sister sit down and highlight every single one of our expenses and explain them.
How'd that go?
I mean, honestly, from what I can remember, we just sucked it up and did it, and then everything went back to normal about a month later. And my dad thought he had it bad with us, and then my brother got a credit card, and my brother was always the one that would like judge and be like, the girl spends so much money, and he was like mom's little angel and like the good kid that never could do anything wrong. And he got to college, and he's gonna kill me for telling this story, but he started like an embezzlement scheme where he would use my dad's credit card to pay for his friends' meals, and then he would ask his friends to Venmo him, and then he would save it up. And what he was saving for is the funniest thing to me, because you'd think like, oh, he's gonna spend it on like a trip or like concert tickets. No, he's saving it up for law school. I was like, Drew, why are you embezzling from dad? He's gonna pay for law school anyways. So that was just funny. All right, let's do one more.
All right, we gotta get a little hotter. You should delete your ex's nudes from your phone.
Yeah, right?
No,
what are you using those for?
I agree. I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
I feel like some people don't. Some people keep those away for a while.
If we were to play just like hypothetically, what if somebody did believe that, like, what would their argument be?
Argument for or against?
For it. Like, if you're saying it's okay to keep them, like, what is your argument?
You send it to me. Like, why should I have to delete it? It's not like I'm like sending it out to 100 people or like looking at it every night, but it's just it's a picture on my phone. Like, if I were to have it, like,
I think there's a difference if you forget that it's there and you come across it one day and then you delete it, instead of like actively going through your entire phone and being like delete, you know.
Parents still take nudes for sure. Like,
I don't want to think about that.
The Florida trip the other day, and my friend that was down there, we were down there with like his now father-in-law. So like, you know where this is going, and he was showing him pictures of like their new condo, and goes one too far with his mother-in-law. And I like sat there, and he's like, I just had to sit there and accept it, like, mother-in-law spread eagle. And I was like, I said, that just gives me chills thinking about it.
I don't want to think about that.
And
I don't want to think about that. That's awful.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. I would not want to find myself in. So.
And like, parents aren't smart enough to figure out the locked folders or like the private mode. Like, they just keep it right there, right there
the
next
roll.
to the family portrait.
Their explanation is a whoops, one too far.
You ever accidentally leave like a browsing tab open?
1,000%.
You have to explain that. You're like, oh, sorry.
I mean, I think I've gone to the gym, and like I keep the screenshot of my gym card on my phone in my pictures. And one time I did leave this was like 2 years ago. And I remember going in and like it unlocked on my face screen. I'm like, that's weird. It gave like this weird like phone unlocking symbol. I'm like, it never just unlocks like that and goes straight to like the locked folder of pictures.
No.
And I was so uncomfortable. Like, I don't even think anyone's around me. Or
they probably didn't even see it. You have that secondhand embarrassment
and
of like, what if the camera's caught it?
Yeah.
Somebody's sitting in the back room like zooming in on your phone like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, this has been Hot Tub Takes with Alex, and if you think Alex is cute and you want to shoot your shot with him, you can do so on eligiblepodcast.com/shoot, and I will send over your messages to him. Until next week.